I used to do lots of things.
I used to do things and I'd say things and Jesus I was evil. Take things and break things and Jesus I was evil. I never...
All right, Rick, are we live?
Smash that record button. Are we live?
Rick, are we live? We're live? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Happily reckless year, everyone.
Oh yeah, it's our first episode of the new year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
2022. Is 2022 going to be better? I think it will be. I'm going to be optimistic.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be pessimistic. I'll be I'm not going to be pessimistic. I'm going to be apocalyptic. I don't think we're gonna make it to June.
Can we? How about my birthday's June 29th? Can we do July?
I'll talk to him, but
okay, talk to him. God,
I know. Yeah, I'll talk
to
him. But yeah, no promises. But maybe plan like the weekend before just to be safe.
All right. That's fair. Yeah, what episode is this? Is episode 19?
18. Yeah.
18? Yeah. All right. Episode 18.
That's a good number.
Reckless Musecast. 17's better. That was my like sports number.
Oh yeah.
This one all blurry. All right, you're good.
66 was my number. In high school.
Marker the Beast.
Just throw
another 6 on there.
Yeah.
You played football, right?
I sure did. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You said your whole team would just get arrested, though.
Yeah,
so could you even field the team?
Well, I mean, at the time, like most other high school teams would have like 40 or 50 players, but like we had like 27. So.
Yeah, ours weren't that low. We were probably more in the 40s, high 30s. But I went to a very academic focused school. We did okay. Sometimes we sucked. Sometimes we did well.
Yeah.
I guess it depended. What was your school? It was not academic oriented, was it?
Let's just say that the school newspaper had an obituary. I'll just leave it at that.
Jesus Christ, seriously?
No, but when we got our pictures taken, we got them taken from the front and the side.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good dad joke.
It's Rodney Dangerfield.
Is it?
Yeah, he did a bunch of
it's the ultimate dad comedian.
Yeah. All right, what's next on the Reckless Sportscast? I think the Piggers are going to go all the way this year.
The what?
Ball, the Piggers.
Oh, geez. All right.
I don't think the Smackers are going to do as well this year, but I don't know.
You don't follow like any sports, do you?
Sports ball. I follow.
I thought you were a baseball fan. You're not a baseball fan? Giants?
Casual Raider fan. Casual.
Your dad was a Raiders fan. Wait,
yeah.
Hold on. Can you tell the story about your dad and the Raiders?
Oh yeah.
Are you comfortable? It's very funny.
Yeah. So my dad is a big fan of the Oakland Raiders. In his heart, they're still Oakland. And when they announced that they were going to be moving to Las Vegas, I asked my mom. I was like, "Hey, Mom, how does Dad? How did he take the news of the Raiders moving?" And she goes, "He seemed to take it fine." But right after he heard the news, he went outside and removed a tree stump. very man move of just suppressing all of that anger by taking it out on and the nearest inanimate object. Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
What did he do with the tree stump? Just moved it somewhere else?
I think he had a wood chipper, so I think he could probably cut it up and then just made it turn into sawdust.
Casual wood chipper. All right.
Yeah.
To each their own. Hey, we all handle stress and trauma in our own way.
Yeah.
And it's better than hitting the bottle.
Yeah.
You might have done that also. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know your dad. Never met the guy.
Yeah, so let's so now we're the Reckless Therapy Cast, and
we're gonna go sports. We're changing here. We're going sports, therapy, mental health.
Rick said that we have to hit as many demographics as we can. So
okay, I want to hit the Japanese demographic.
No, we're not doing that. We don't have time today. But we do have time to talk about things that are going on in the news lately. But before we get there, let's talk for a few minutes about some things that we've seen recently. You saw something kind of cool that's kind of relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're referring to Don't Look Up, which right now is my favorite movie of the year. And by the year, I mean 2021. It far exceeded my expectations. I I thought it was going to be a very good versus bad, as in like left wing Democrats equal good, right wing MAGA and the rest equal bad. These people are stopping us from saving the planet. Right. It was not that at all. It does rip on MAGA, understandably, but it also rips on pretty much everyone. Media, tech, politicians across the board. You know, the president is you don't really know. They don't say what. For well, it's a woman, so you kind of just right away assume it's a Democrat, and she has pictures like Hillary Clinton and stuff. But then she kind of flips to a like MAGA charlatan, you know, character. And I think the point of that is to kind of rip on both, like to say that, you know, that it comes in both, in all colors and sizes. It rips on like liberal pop stars who just kind of like they make a song for the meteor. That was fun because it's very self-effacing. Like Ariana Grande was like making fun of herself. You know, they have a big rally for the meteor. Rips on like capitalism shrouded in progressive. Like my favorite line was I won't get into all the characters, but a character goes home. She's been controversial in the news. She's kind of been through what you call, I guess, like kind of canceled, kind of viral, whatever it is. And she goes home and her parents are like, we support the jobs this meteor is going to bring. It's like very, I thought that kind of summed it up. But anyway, you know, I don't, the whole climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it, it's such a tough topic because it's like, what do you do? I think, and that's kind of the point of the movie. Well, you have to do something, and I agree. I think there are lots of things we can do. I don't think like getting rid of plastic straws is one of them. I don't think they're plastic, but I don't think that's the issue. I think it's much more like changing our power sources, energy sources, and that goes we as in humanity, because I think every person in America could do everything right, drive an electric car or be completely carbon neutral. And if China and India and those countries don't change anything, it doesn't really matter. So we're kind of going through the ringer and busting our ass over here when it has to really be a global effort, because it is global warming, right? It's not America warming. So I don't know. It does make you think. Like, it does a good job of saying, like, are we doing enough? I don't know the answer. I don't know. The problem with, and I don't know if there's a problem with the movie. It almost, I don't want to say it shoots itself in the foot. That's not accurate, but it does maybe answer its own question, as in like, no, we can't do anything, because even if like climate change in real life is this, there, it's not clear. It's not like, oh, we have to stop something like a meteor, right? And if we can't even get together to stop a meteor, if there are special interests about stopping this meteor that, and I can go into that later, like if we can't even do that, where it's such a clear and present danger, then we're just fucked. And so like, is there anything we can do? So I don't know. It kind of answers that. It's like, no, like we're so divided. There's too many special interests. I mean, at one point, and so the spoilers, by the way, at one point we do find a way to stop it and have a plan, and it ends up turning around and stopping because we're gonna like harvest it for minerals, so that a tech company who's, you know, supposed to be based on like an Apple, it's called Dash, I think, can get a leg up in a natural resource that isn't available on the planet, or like it has it in high abundance or something like that. And that is very depressing. But I mean, it's almost like that would happen. Like, it's so extreme, but it's almost like, well, we could just destroy this, send it on a different direction and save the planet, or we could risk it and maybe harvest all these natural resources, but it is a risk. And I almost feel like that is what would happen. I don't know, probably not, but like it's almost like it's very that's why I like the movie so much, because it's very well done. It's the classic putting a mirror up to society. And what I liked about it is that it skewered everyone. It wasn't a simplistic like, oh well, if we all just if the good liberal Democrats were just all in power, we would fix this thing. It's like, that's just what our goal has to be. But it's like, no, that's not it at all. In fact, some of them are the most egregious violators of this, that stall problems, that kind of stall progress the most because of special interests. I mean, all of these tech companies overwhelmingly support Democrats, like that's and give money to, and so it's not like a simple left versus right thing. But then of course it does rip on the right, understandably, where it's like the whole thing of don't look up, then they do like a just look down or something like that. It's like it's like, well, if we just look down, it's not coming. It won't bother us, which is it's not a take on COVID. A lot of people are saying that this was like written and came out like way before COVID. Obviously, there will be some parallels. This is very much about climate change, but it's also like just kind of putting your head in the sand and just hoping nothing happens. Well, that's not the right response either, which is a legitimate criticism of like a lot of right-wing Republicans.
Yeah. So I didn't watch the movie, but I did watch the Wikipedia article on it, and when I read the summary of the film, it to me, I saw a lot of parallels with COVID. But
I think that's just a coincidence, and it's like recency bias. That's just going to be the lens I think we see through things so much now, unfortunately.
And I'm sure with any other disaster, if this film had come out during that, anyone else could be like, oh, this film's clearly about this thing that we're going through right now. Like I can see how that parallels, but okay, all right.
So it was very good though, and it was also it was very funny. Like there were several. Jonah Hill was hilarious. He was a kind of an ancillary character, but he was very very funny. He was both the president's son and her chief of staff, I believe. Which was kind of weird, but maybe kind of a knock at Trump, because Trump put his children and children's spouses in a lot of positions of power. But he was really funny. But I highly recommend it. Took me by surprise.
Was it heavy-handed? I think that's the only thing that made me a little hesitant to watch the film. Is like, oh great, like is this going to be very heavy-handed? Where it's like I watch it, I'm like, oh okay, I know exactly who they're talking about here. Is it pretty?
I don't think so. I think that if some people took it that way, I mean, it's satire, so that's kind of the point. It's like
they have specific targets.
It's also like stretched to extremes. Which I think is fine. Heavy-handed. I mean, there's a point where Leo DiCaprio's character, who's a scientist and professor, whose student, PhD candidate, Jennifer Lawrence's character, they kind of discover this. Well, she discovers it. It's actually named after her, which is kind of weird, kind of fucked up, and also funny. He's like on a media show where the two hosts are very lighthearted and trying to look at everything positively and all that, and obviously making fun of like cable news stuff. Even though I think that was actually one of the sidetrack. I think that's one of the least accurate criticisms actually in the movie, because in my opinion, cable news has completely changed from that fluff pieces to all it does is scare people. It manufactures fear, because that's what gets ratings and that's what gets people. Everyone knows this. The media saying, "If it bleeds, it leads." Like that's what MSNBC, Fox, CNN. It's not that at all. It's actually very egregious. Racism, this, communist, that, whatever it is. So that I didn't think was very accurate. But anyway, there's a point where he's like yelling into the camera, very much like, "We're gonna fucking die. What are we doing? We have to do." And that's clearly to the audience, like to the actual audience. But that's okay. Like, I don't know. I think movies can have. I know we were kind of saying the opposite with like superhero movies. Like, no, you don't have to be preachy and heavy-handed. Sometimes you do need an escape. But that's not what this movie is. This movie has a message, and I appreciated that it was still funny and skewered all different types of people and was unpredictable. And then if it has a message, that's fine. I see nothing wrong with that.
Okay. All right. I'll put that in my maybe pile. So.
All right. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's not like you have to go to theater or anything. And if you don't like it, you can turn it off. You're allowed.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right.
That's that. You can find my movie blog on Ben's Pocket Movie Reviews on my Medium page.
Yeah, I'll be sure
Link below.
to cut that out.
All right, we'll cut that. We'll cut that. I'm sure. Rick, can you cut that out? All right, he'll cut that.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
All right. What are we talking about next?
I didn't watch anything relevant to society in any way, but I did. I want to talk a little bit about this briefly. I watched. You saw me post this on Twitter. I saw a double feature of Mank and Citizen Kane at the New Beverly Theater.
Did you feel really smart and cultured after it?
I did, yes. But that's every Tuesday for me, though.
That's a regular Tuesday. Did you just fart into a cup and sniff it?
Yes, I did. Yes,
yes. That and like I tweeted. I realized I've been a big reply guy to you recently. replying on Twitter. I said, make sure that you tell everyone that you saw Citizen Kane and that's the best movie ever made, so everyone knows you're smart.
People thought I worked there because like I wouldn't let them into the theater without. I was like, yeah. Oh, remember, this is the greatest film of all time. I'm like, okay. Anyway, go sit over there. Oh, by the way, the greatest film of all time according to AFI. So yeah, everybody knew who I was by the end of the night and how smart I was. But
we talked about that last episode. So if you're not getting this reference, go watch our last episode. All of it.
Yeah. And it's a good podcast.
How was it?
It was good. It was very good. So have you seen Mank?
Yeah.
So I watched it with my friend, and real quick, we watched it at the theater that Quentin Tarantino owns.
Yeah,
and it's cool because it's somewhere in West LA. It's on Beverly Avenue near kind of like Melrose area. But since he owns the place, he like it's a very small divey theater, so it's like one screen. And
I love that. Really?
Yeah, it's cool. And everything that they show there, everything there is shown on film. So there's a lot of scratching and stuff, and it's all 35 millimeter or 60 millimeter film, and the tickets are cheap. It's $12 for the double feature, and even the food and the drinks are very cheap too.
Good for him. That's really cool. By the way, speaking of that, I just went to a movie. The first movie I've been to in theaters since COVID, not because of any fear thing. I don't know. I just hadn't been in the movies. For me, and I'm going to explain why in a second, I really only go to the movies if I love my local movie theater, but if I really want to see a movie, most movies I will wait, or now a lot of them just come out on streaming simultaneously. I went for the first, I saw West Side Story. I went with my girlfriend and my sister, and I want you to guess how much this cost. Now I'll give you what was purchased. 3 tickets, all adults. 2 medium popcorns, 2 fountain sodas, I guess medium. I don't even know if they have different sizes, but let's say medium, and 1 bottle of water. What do you think the total of that was? And then guess like seriously guess.
$70.
Holy shit, very close. $73.
Oh, okay.
$73.
Shit, man.
It's like you wonder why people aren't. It's like, why aren't people going to the theaters? Well, because they have to give up their whole paycheck to pay for it.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. So this reminds me of another experience that I had a while back. I went to the Napa Valley Film Festival back in like 2016 or 17.
Oh, look at you! Oh.
I know. Again, people don't seem to realize how sophisticated I am. Anyway, so I got to sit in on this panel of a few people from like some studios and these kind of Hollywood executive types, and they were so out of touch. Like they just genuinely believe that movie theaters, like, we're going through a bit of a slump right now, but it'll pick up again.
How so?
But it was just very dumb. Like they were kind of, like people, there's no beating the experience of going to a theater and seeing it on the big screen. It's like I love movies. I love being able to go to the movies. Yeah. But even then, it's getting to be crazy. And so it's like it's getting. And I even asked them a question. At the end, they have a Q&A, and I was like, like, where do you see this going? Because right now, for the cost of 1 movie ticket, like I can watch something on Netflix. I can get, order a pizza and some beer and sit at home.
You can pay for an entire month of Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can do that from the comfort of my home. I don't have to wait in line. I don't have to.
You can microwave popcorn. You can buy the top. Like I like my theater that has all the different toppings. But I bring my own bowl, by the way. They love it. I bring my own bowl. But like, I like mine because it's like the big comfortable seats. It's very loud. So I don't know if I said something last episode, but like I saw like Aladdin, Lion King in theaters and stuff too, and there were little kids there, and like they're jumping around, but you don't hear them. I like that. But there's another theater nearby that I went to. I think I saw It 2 there. There were like 10 people in the theater and a bunch of teenagers. It was just like a regular old school theater, just like totally normal. And they like ruined the movie. And they were like up at the top just fucking around. Yeah. And it's like, so you have to compete with that also.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I know I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. But
what were they saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, they just assume like, but that, at the end of the day, people want to go to the movie theaters, and it's like you're a Hollywood executive, like you don't act like you understand what the average person wants. Like either, and like all the things that they think will bring people back were very gimmicky things. It's like like reclining seats and having a bar in the theater is cool, but again, it's like if it's gonna be $20 just to watch a movie, like it's like not even to, like popcorn and soda and beer or whatever. It's just for the tickets. Like
I might imagine what a beer costs in those theaters.
Yeah, it's like I'm with that money I can order a pizza and buy a 6-pack and watch Netflix or Hulu,
and then you can you can pause it to go take a piss and stuff like that.
I have to wait in line, I have to drive, blah, blah, blah. So
I don't know what that. Well, I think that's also a reason why we're going to see more and more. Again, going back to our last episode of just big blockbustery superhero movies, which are great. Like we're both for that. Yeah, but things like The Last Duel aren't going to get either made or they're not even going to be in theaters, which if they're not in theaters, they're not going to make so much money. It's not going to be a budget behind them, which means I don't know if I want to say they'll be as good, but you won't have Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Ben Affleck in them, for something that's not even going to be in theaters. So because it bombed, right? Even West Side Story was considered a bomb. And to be honest, that was a box office bomb. And that was like a great movie for me to get back into a theater to watch. It's a spectacle. There's the dancing and the singing and all of that. Like it was a beautiful movie. Yeah. And that didn't even do well. And again, part of that is COVID, right? Yeah. I get that too. So I think we will see a boost once COVID's never going to be done, but like once it's not what it is now.
Right.
But they do sound very out of touch, and I don't know what the deal has to be. Like my theater back, I used to go to theater a lot on like Tuesdays because they had $6 tickets. Back where I used to live, and that was great. And that's how I would go to the movies. But I don't think my theater offers that. Yeah. So getting back to the Tarantino theater, that's really cool. I love that.
It's cool, and they even show previews of coming attractions, but like it's like old film reels of like movies. Like I don't remember seeing the trailer for a movie past like 2000. Like everything was like from the 80s or 90s, but it was always like weird, obscure movies.
Oh, they show old trailers.
Yeah,
that's very cool. Fuck
yeah.
Why didn't you take me there when I was there?
Because I just found out. Well, because I don't like you very much. And I wanted you to have a terrible time in LA.
That makes sense. I did just like occupy your room for 4 days.
I was like, well, I'm not taking him to the New Beverly Theater. It was actually a pretty cool experience. $12 for 2 movies. And
that's very cool.
There was this one annoying part.
And the greatest movie of all time. No less.
Mank. There was a part. It's one of my favorite scenes in Citizen Kane, and they did that stupid thing that movies, that are displayed on film, that they do sometimes. Which like they skip a few seconds, and I was like, "Oh, come on, you guys skipped over one of my favorite parts." Oh, like it just jumped, and everybody in the audience moaned. It was funny.
So for them to show it on film, doesn't it have to be shot on film? Is that a dumb question?
Yes, but so
was Mank shot on film?
I doubt it. I think David Fincher is full on digital. But yeah, I believe you. I don't see why. Yeah, he is. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to transfer something that was shot digitally onto film. I know the reverse is true. I gotcha. Yeah, but no,
I know Tarantino's crazy. He shoots everything on film, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool, and that's why it has a unique style to it.
Yes.
He's a lover of the craft.
Yes, that guy really likes movies.
He does.
But so that was a good experience.
What did you think of Mank? I did see it. I did my review and all of that for it. I think I give it like an 80, which is very good, like really good. Yeah. I don't know. It's really long, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This is my second time watching it. I watched it on Netflix when it first came out, but seeing it on the big screen, I definitely appreciated a lot more from it.
Are you a big movie rewatcher?
I kind of am, yeah. Because I
how many times have you seen Under the Silver Lake?
3 times in 1 year. So
That's kind of a lot.
I plan on topping that this year, though. I'm turning a new Under the Silver Lake leaf for 2022.
You're gonna watch it more
every week, hopefully.
once a week. That
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
This is gonna be under the Musecast
Under the
podcast.
Musecast. I'm not, because like I listen to a movie podcast, and they're like, yeah, so like before they'll review. I mean, again, this is their livelihood, like this is their job. They're a big movie podcast. But they'll watch a movie like 3 times in a weekend. I my favorite movies, my absolute favorite, like I'll watch Sideways once a year. It's one of my favorite movies. I've seen Children of Men probably 10 times, but that's 10 times in a decade. So it's probably about like once a year, maybe if that. But I mean, when I was a kid, I'd seen Mind Path and the Holy Grail and Starship Troopers. I've probably seen these movies like literally 50 to 60 times, not more. But like now, it really takes me a lot to rewatch a movie, and maybe that's because I'm constantly watching new stuff to review. That like it's like, well, that's a it's time I could be watching something else.
I'm so torn because there's a part of me that loves watching new movies, especially movies that people talked about or forgotten cult classic type things. Or it's like, everyone's been telling me to watch this. I gotta check it out. But then there are other movies that I'm like, oh man, I'm really aching to watch this movie again. And I think part of it is because like as I'm trying to get into filmmaking, I'm able to appreciate a lot more. Like when
you're looking at it with a different eye, right?
Exactly,
like a more critical eye. Yeah, I try and do that too. I'll be like, oh, that's an over the shoulder shot. And that usually means like stuff like that. But
so I'm trying to break out of the habit of rewatching things and trying to watch them, trying to watch new things. But
so you don't just watch The Office every night?
No, I don't. No.
I know we've talked about that. Listen, it's a great show. It's a fantastic show, but there's other shows.
Yes.
To those of you out there, there are other shows. I love The Office. I'll rewatch it too. But there's other stuff out there. Just so you know, I don't know if you didn't. You didn't know that. Now you know that there are other shows exist.
And there's a great film called Under the Silver Lake that you can watch as a show. You can watch like in 30-minute increments.
Watch as a show. Oh, dude. Oh, I don't mean to. Okay. So again, I gave Under the Silver Lake. I gave it like low 60, I think. I liked it. It was good. It got. I watched.
Your review was wrong, but
I watched Event Horizon recently.
Okay.
Another movie you recommended.
Yeah. What'd you think?
This is not a good movie.
You didn't like it?
Event Horizon is not a good movie.
Yes,
I don't know.
It
It's not.
is
Joe,
a very good movie. Yes.
Oh, look, I can appreciate your appreciation of Under the Silver Lake. I get it.
Yes.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It has some great scenes. Event Horizon is a bad movie.
It is not though.
It is a haunted house movie in space that doesn't make any sense. It's not even Alien haunted house in space. It's just like a gorecore haunted house with spaceships.
Yeah.
Why are they speaking Latin? It doesn't make any sense. Why would they know Latin? What is happening?
You don't think they have Latin?
It has that terrible ending, like the tropiest ending of like, you think it's over, and then she sees the bad guy again, and it's like, oh, are you okay? And it's not the bad guy, and then it just ends. This is a bad movie.
I think your interpretation of the ending is probably the only correct thing about your review.
Okay, so you can.
I agree with you. The ending's not very good. No, I agree with that. But everything else, I think the rest of your review is a typo.
I haven't written it yet. I watched it. I have my notes. It'll be on. I just posted, the next 5 or 6, and this will be on the next one. So I haven't written those yet. I'm like, I want to like it because you recommended it, but it is so bad.
Well, you know what's funny is that movie's so split. That movie's so split. Like me and my roommate love it, and everybody else hates it.
It has. I get it as cult appeal. Like that's fine. That doesn't mean that means that a select group of people like it a lot. That's what like cult appeal really is.
Right.
It doesn't have, I don't know if that's right either. Don't quote me on that. But like, so I can see that. But you don't even kind of like it ironically.
No, I genuinely like it.
You genuinely, okay. I don't want this to just turn into a movie review podcast, but what do you like about this movie?
I love the premise of a ship that has gone into a chaotic dimension. Like I like the
Okay.
way it blends sci-fi with the supernatural. I think is a really cool idea. I love Dr. Alan Grant. Mr. Jurassic Park is in it, and
I
he's
know.
good.
I know.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne.
Good actors. It's not.
Yeah,
They doesn't mean it's a good movie.
yeah,
Like I know the actor. I know who the actors are.
yeah. It's got the guy who played Draco Malfoy's dad.
You're just listing actors. What do you like about the movie?
And it's got the blonde chick from Nip Tuck. And I think just because it has like a really cool premise, it's a pretty original premise. I think
so. It's a rescue mission, which again, so this movie probably predates other rescue mission movies, but
Yes,
it's a rescue mission movie.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's just like serial killer kind of haunted house hallucinations.
Yeah.
Why didn't the young guy immediately freeze to death when he went into outer fucking space in a t-shirt?
I don't know. I'm not praising for its scientific accuracy.
Yeah.
All
right.
So after you've rewatched Under the Silver Lake, revisit.
I will not rewatch Event Horizon. I could rewatch Under the Silver Lake in the future. I can do that.
Yeah.
I will not rewatch Event Horizon. It's not happening.
Well, you're missing out on.
All right. Well, we can move on from that. I just put it on and I feel bad because you recommended this movie. I think during our horror, when we had our horror episode.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you should have watched it in October. That's the best time to watch Event Horizon.
Would not have changed anything.
I think it would have.
No. All right. So let's switch gears here.
Yeah, talk about actual stuff.
Let's talk about something is going to get a little political, but what is your stance on public executions?
Oh, public executions?
Public executions.
I mean, as long as I can bring the wife and kids to them, I think I'm generally cool with them. Yeah.
It's cheaper than going to the movies.
Yeah.
So I'm against them with exceptions. The exception being the transgression that Patton Oswalt committed when he took a picture of Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
He took a photograph of an old friend who happens to be probably the most popular comedian in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an executionable offense.
Yes.
Is that out of line?
No.
All right. Okay. So we're on the same page on that. Do you want to enlighten the listeners
about what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Patton Oswalt, who is a comedian,
transphobe comedian.
Apparently he's got a spine made of wet noodle. So what he did was he
the guillotine will go right through it. No,
exactly.
No,
clean cut.
No problems there.
It's not even al dente. It's just overcooked. It's
overcooked. It's not even al dente.
No.
Yeah.
So Patton Oswalt, he posted a picture of himself with Dave Chappelle. They're longtime buddies. And he posted this, I think, for New Year's Eve.
Like sweet flex, bro.
Yeah, on Instagram, and it was just a very fun, lighthearted, like, oh hey, happy New Year's, everyone! I'm hanging out with one of my best buddies. Blah blah blah. I hope you guys are doing well. Whatever. And then he got a ton of shit because, according to the Twitterati, Dave Chappelle is a hardcore transphobe, which he is not. And so Patton Oswalt. He apologized. He gave a very lengthy apology on Instagram, or lengthy for Instagram, and it just goes on and on about he's my friend, but one thing that we disagree on is transgender rights, and then he just goes on and on.
Well, and remember the context of, and he includes a photograph, right?
Yeah, no.
That's my favorite part. It's a photograph of him like just looking forlorn, just sitting there. Like it's so someone took this picture, or he set a timer or something. Isn't it just like him sitting at a desk, like kind of just really reflecting on the capital offense of taking a photograph with Dave Chappelle? Yeah. And I really appreciate that he captured this moment of self-reflection for his Instagram.
It's I got it right here. It's him. It looks like it's a dressing room because there's a mirror and there's these really bright lights. So it looks like it's a dressing room, and he's got a legal pad and he's writing out his apology.
He's documenting the process. It's like, just in case we didn't believe that you wrote this apology, we had to see it actually happen. Now I'm convinced that he wrote this. He didn't have some PR person write it for him. Now I believe him.
We've got photographic proof. That's the smoking gun of his apology.
Yeah.
But it's funny that comedians, like, I don't want comedians, we've talked about variations on this, but like, unless you do something that's terribly wrong, or you genuinely think that what you did was wrong, then yeah, apologize. But if it's just sort of like, I mean, this is that guilt by association thing of like, I'm friends with somebody.
Yeah, this is the exact thing we talk about. This is the exact example of something we talk about. He did nothing wrong. Did nothing objectively wrong. He obviously was fine with it when he did it because he did it. Yeah. And what he did was totally fine. And he only apologized after people came after him. It's the exact time when you should not apologize. They smell blood in the water. It'll never be enough. You will always be associated with this. Never, because I never see anyone like re-accepted back, right? Like, it's never, and it's just, you're kind of cast off. It's kind of like getting back to executions. It's kind of like your last words in a sense. It's if you're up on the gallows, you get your last words, but you don't get to come back down. Right. It's not like, oh, well, all right, he convinced us and he comes back. Like, no, you still get executed. Like, this is the obvious cultural kind of internet equivalent of that. Like, now it's like, okay, they might stop coming after you, maybe, until you do something as benign as this again. But
so I read a study a while back, a psychological study about
you're better than me.
Was that?
So you think you're better than me? Reading studies?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sophisticated. I'm the sophisticated.
You are very sophisticated.
You're the redneck Rube. So
that's definitely how I would describe myself.
But I read this study about how people who demand apologies, not like they genuinely feel like something has been done to them, like personally, but people who are like, I'm going to get righteous about this. I'm going to demand an apology. Even when they get that apology, they don't forgive people. Like, that's not enough for like, okay, I'm going to give you a second chance, whatever. We'll forget about that. They don't do that. And I think we're seeing we did not need a study to conclude this.
What university paid for this study? What endowment paid for this study?
Go on Twitter. There's a sample size right there that's large enough for this. But it's you're totally right though. Like, they're not going to move on and okay, you can come back. You're an ally again. It's more like we have you under our thumb. Yeah,
he does use the A word, which
one of the few words that we don't use on this podcast.
Yeah, we don't. We do not. We do. Yes, thank you. We do not use the A word on this podcast, or the N word, as you want to. No, I don't.
I don't.
But we do not use the A word either. So
no. My apologies for using that word in front of you.
Yeah. I don't. But accept your apology.
But yeah, of course they're not going to bring him back. They're not. They're I think another part of that study, which again did not need to be done, was that when the person who chooses demanding an apology gets the apology, it's not forgiveness. It's more like a sense of I don't know, like sort of power over the person of like, oh, okay, good. All I have to do is demand an apology from you, and I'll get that.
They'll lord it over you.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, he's not going to be welcome. I mean, and even if he does, it's just like, I mean, it's like the way I think of it, it's like making a deal with the mob. It's like, all right, okay, fine, I'll give you this.
Hold on, these are my people we're talking about here.
I didn't say which mob though.
Well, implicit bias.
with organized crime.
So are we talking about Sicilians? Fine, I openly discriminate against Sicilians.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
My girlfriend doesn't like it. I said, so this is what I told her. I said, look, for our own safety, and for our own safety and for property, all I'm saying is I think we should limit the number of Sicilians that we allow in the house. I'm not saying zero. The number's not zero.
Right.
It's just put a limit on it.
Yeah.
For to cover our, to make sure that we don't get overwhelmed. I don't see what's so wrong with that.
You'll never be made with that attitude, but if that's the way you feel about it.
I'm joking, Sicilians, I love you. My people come from the most like godforsaken city in Italy, Naples. It's like it's like the biggest cesspool in Italy. But hey, at least we get to just punch down on Sicilians.
No. But anyway, getting back to this though, Aries Spears.
Mm-hmm.
He said this to TMZ. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate climate we live in where you got to apologize for things you shouldn't have to apologize for. Comics want to have fun with other comics. It's like two dudes playing pickleball on the streets. Dave's a great ball player. Patton's a great ball player. So play ball.
Is that where we've gotten to, pickleball in the streets?
Yeah.
Not basketball or stickball. It's pickleball now. All right. On the streets Aries Spears lives in now, but
yeah.
I'm sure he does very well for himself. I would assume.
But
it's like, well, who are you? Like, here's the thing. Who are you apologizing? I don't know how to phrase this. Like, are the people who are coming after you when you've done something like, right? What I always say, like, intent and context. And if your intent was not malicious and the context is like taking a picture with an old friend, why do you want to apologize to the people who are coming after you?
Right.
Like, they're the ones who are being unreasonable.
Right.
So I don't get what you're gaining from it, because you're apologizing to unreasonable, malicious people.
Yeah.
I just don't get what's to be gained from that. It's not like, let's even from like a career perspective, because a lot of this, it always comes back to a business decision.
Yeah.
Like, if he took a picture with Richard Spencer, who could be a longtime friend, that could probably hurt his career. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, taking a picture of Dave Chappelle's not going to hurt your career. He's still like headlining Netflix. Like, he's going to do something with their comedy show. I don't know the specifics on that.
Yeah.
Like, Netflix very much took his side.
Yeah.
Almost entirely. It was really just a handful of loud voices, insane loud voices. By the way, go listen to our Vito Gesualdi episode to learn more about that.
Yep.
So it's like, who are you like trying to please here?
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Did any like famous people come after him? Like Will Wheaton, that other noodle. Like, did anyone like that? Not that. Why is Will Wheaton even popular anymore? He was in Stand By Me in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
What does he do? He's in Star Trek or something.
Yeah, he did some things, I guess.
Who gives a shit? Star Trek is stupid. Yeah. I said it.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Yeah. Where are you? Are you a Trekkie?
No.
All right, good. Is it? And you know what? We're becoming an anti-Star Trek podcast.
The anti-Trek.
We're anti. We're not only. Yeah, we are anti-Star Trek on this podcast.
We are the Trekless Musecast.
Holy
There's no
shit.
Trek here.
That's
no
good.
Star Trek here, baby.
Trekless Musecast. Very nice. Well done.
Yeah, no, it's not like he's apologizing because he used a racial slur against a group, or because he hurt somebody, or he, it was just like he took a picture with a friend, and people were offended by that. And again, it wasn't the lead or the Grand Wizard of the KKK or something that he took a picture with. It was like, oh shit, I didn't know who that was. Sorry, everyone.
Who is the Grand Wizard of the KKK? He's not like known, right?
Yeah, not that I know of. It's been a while since I've
what was the last meeting you went
Daily
to?
Storm.
I haven't been to a meeting in a while, so I'm not really sure.
The Daily Storm has their website.
Daily Stormer. Is that neo-Nazi though? I think that's neo-Nazi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting my hate.
Yeah, you're getting your white supremacist confused.
I read so many. It all seems the same to me sometimes. I have no idea who. But exactly.
I kind of love it. So I hate it, but I also kind of love it because it's like, this is a guy who he's probably all of his jokes have been really like against Trump and right-wing people. And it's like, even you get it, dude. Like they're coming after you. You take a picture. It just shows that like people say social credits. It's really not social credits in a way, because like you don't get credited for anything. The credit system is like, well, I've earned this much. Then if I need to use it, I get to use it. That's what a credit system is. You build credit.
Yeah.
That's actually not what happens at all. It's you could do 99 things right or say the right thing. You say one thing out of line, you're done.
Right.
Exactly. You have to grovel on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. So
it's like the 6 degrees of, like it's like, it wasn't that he did something wrong, is that he took a picture with somebody who's been accused of potentially saying something wrong, even though they haven't. It's sort of like you have to like really find the connections to some sort of bigotry and be like, oh, see, I found the connection.
I didn't care enough to look into it, but I wonder like what percentage of people, one, are these like accounts even real, and then how many of them are like, I always think about how many of them are just like 15-year-old high schoolers, just like getting with their friends and mass messaging like a famous person, and you're caving to that. Like that's why I asked, did anyone, I don't want to say of significance because I don't give them that much credit, but like anyone of, I guess, cultural significance, did anyone say anything to him? Like I don't know, not that I know of either. So it's like, you're kowtowing to, I'm going to assume, a bunch of like college, like freshmen at Vassar. Like what are you doing?
Right.
But anyway, I don't know.
But so
we have a no apology also policy on this podcast, unless you want to.
Yeah,
like every rule, unless you want to. we don't say we don't say the N-word on this podcast unless you want to. Exactly. I won't, but unless you want to.
I won't. No, yeah, we're gonna be slightly more civilized than Hunter S. Thompson. His saying was, "Never apologize, never explain." It's like, you never apologize, never explain, unless you want to.
Unless you want to, right? Unless you want. I don't think Patton Oswalt wanted to. I don't think he wanted to.
I mean, if you were to like interview every single person in the U.S., do you think he should have apologized?
I would. I think I would kill myself if I had interviewed every person in the U.S. This country just disturbs me on so many levels. I love it, and I love you, Americans, my fellow Americans, but you drive me absolutely insane.
We'd be out of a job, out of this non-paying job, if America was not crazy. So
that's true. Yes, it'd be very boring. All right, so I vote public execution for Patton Oswalt. You vote public execution.
Yay!
All right.
Yay.
He's dead. Yeah. What do you want to talk about next?
Just kidding, Rowling. She's she got.
Is she getting publicly executed now too?
I'm trying to prevent that. I'm talking
because I charge per head, but I also, this is very progressive of me, I charge kind of on a what's the word, like a sliding scale, I guess. Like the more expensive the head, the higher I charge. Like J.K. Rowling is going to be very expensive, so if you want me to behead her, it's going to cost something. It's going to cost a lot, especially if it's in public. But are we in trouble? Are we in trouble for this?
Hopefully. Here's the thing, though. Like,
no, I don't mean like Patton Oswalt trouble. I mean like our show gets taken down.
Oh, because we're talking about executing people,
famous people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
satirically, fucking YouTube crazies.
I know.
You know what? I'm gonna put. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put $1 in the Nazi jar and call them Nazis.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'm doing it right here. This is a. So, I'm not putting $1. I'm putting an IOU of $1.
I was going to say that.
I'm putting in a $1 IOU, and I'll sign it. Okay, so it's another $1 into the Nazi jar, for making the inappropriate comparison to non-Nazis and/or Hitler and/or Holocaust comparison. On the podcast, so that's going in the jar.
Okay, cool.
And here it is, so everyone can see that there actually is a Nazi jar.
Yeah.
I did not put a swastika on it because I thought that would be a bridge too far. The point of this jar, this is not going, by the way, this is not going to any Nazis or Nazi-affiliated organizations. This is because they were so horrible. I can't believe I say this again. They were so horrible. Hitler was so horrible. The Holocaust was so terrible that any comparisons to it 99.9% of the time are just foolish. So that's why it's going in here. So when I call the YouTube moderators Nazis, I'm doing it tongue in cheek. I know you're not Nazis. You just have authoritarian tendencies. Is that
Yes.
fair?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we covered our bases. So let's get back to killing J.K. Rowling.
Okay. We probably shouldn't charge her more though, because like she's a woman, and women have to pay more for haircuts. I don't
Pink
think they should
tax.
Yeah. So I don't think they should
That's
be.
fair. Okay, that's
I don't
fair.
think they should pay more for head cuts.
Well, to be clear, she's not paying.
Oh, who are we charging then?
Oh fuck, that's a good point. Maybe her
The queen?
estate.
The queen?
The queen. Ooh, what would the queen cost? Actually, they have cut off king's heads over there.
Yeah.
I don't think have they ever beheaded a queen. Oh wait, yeah, Henry VIII beheaded they had 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's precedent there.
Yeah, and it's I'm glad that gender equality is there in the form of beheadings. That's good. So
Right, and he actually even did it. I think it was for Anne Boleyn. I can't remember which one. Anne Boleyn. He actually brought a swordsman in from France because it was more humanitarian. Because he was such a good swordsman with a big fuck off sword that he would get it done in one blow.
Oh, that's good.
One swift and true blow of his sword instead of just hacking away with a battle axe.
Right. That's pretty
he was a very progressive man. He had multiple marriages. That's not conservative. Started his own church, very cultish, very progressive.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that bit.
He was a gluttonous man, so he's definitely into body positivity.
That's true. Yes, he was very body positive. Did not care about how he looked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you criticize him, you got head cut off, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did J.K. Rowling do this time? Another perfect example of like you cannot be progressive enough.
Right. I mean, her progressive feminist views are practically paleo compared to like what's going on now. Okay, so recently there was a new Harry Potter 20th anniversary special that brought back a lot of members of the cast.
Yeah.
So there was some controversy about whether they should bring back J.K. Rowling, because she's made some remarks that have been described as transphobic. Things like sex is real and men are men and women are women. Those evil statements like that.
Yes.
And so she did not appear herself. So here's what happened. So apparently she was reached out to. They did reach out to her to see if she wanted to come on the show.
Yeah.
But her team determined that the archive elements from the writer were adequate. Because she did appear on the show, but like previous interviews, not like her now coming up on and talking about like actually like meeting in person with the cast.
Wait, she did or didn't go?
She did not appear in it today, but they used footage of her from interviews or whatever, like archive footage of her.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like a whole retrospective thing. So it's like, just look back to the past. So they just used previous footage.
So the cast is at a location. Is this in person?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is this like Celebration for Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay. And she didn't go because was she invited, or she chose not to go? Or
she was invited. She did not appear. She did not.
She chose not to go, but she was invited.
Yes.
Okay.
So the thing, it's not as big of a controversy as I initially thought. However, there was, of course, because it's J.K. Rowling, there were a lot of people who were saying, she should not appear. She blah blah blah. And the other thing too is that a lot of members of the cast have criticized her, or have like, even if they didn't criticize her directly, would be like, like right after she would release a controversial statement about trans people, they would be like, "Oh, I stand in favor of trans people. I am an ally to trans people," that sort of thing.
Don't
say
the word.
Sorry, forgot. Yeah. I'll bleep it out. Rick, bleep it out.
We'll cut that. Yeah. Rick, cut that, please.
So I wouldn't be surprised if.
Wait, I thought we were talking about the anti-Semitic thing.
Oh no, we can talk about that though. Talk about that as well, though.
Because that's why I thought she was back in the news.
That just happened too.
that just happened too. Which again is just a very attenuated criticism. It's like, my understanding is we all know the stereotype of Jews running banks, right? And like the conspiracy is Jews run the global banks, all that. They've also been caricatured as like creatures, like goblins and stuff like that. And then she made goblins run the bank
Yeah.
in Gringotts. Is that it? Did I get
think
that
so,
right?
yeah.
In the Harry Potter books. Therefore, J.K. Rowling is fuck Hitler. So I got to put another IOU in the. No, I don't have to put an IOU in there because I didn't make that comparison.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're
that's me. Okay.
So
right, but I do have that right. Correct.
Mostly. So,
well,
Jon Stewart, formerly of the Daily Show. So he got dragged in this because I guess he made some casual conversation with some friends saying like, oh yeah, like, when you watch the Harry Potter movies, you can still see the Jewish caricatures. And then that got blown up into Jon Stewart called J.K. Rowling anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And then he went on Twitter, was like, no, I'm not calling her.
He quote tweeted saying, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I listened to it. He's definitely criticizing her.
Yeah.
I don't think, but that doesn't mean that he called her anti-Semitic. Like, again, this gets down to I guess it can sometimes be a fine point, but it's often like, just because something happens doesn't mean that person is that. Like, you can, sometimes it's an accident or it's just your interpretation of it, but like that doesn't mean she's an anti-Semite because she made a facet of her book that in other contexts have been purposefully used to harm Jewish people.
Right. Yeah.
Which I don't even know how. I don't have this stance. I don't see how the goblins were Jews. I've seen lots of caricatures of Jews and they're not goblins. Like they're definitely accentuated and very unbecoming and cruel, right? Let me use harsher words here. They're cruel and wrong and disturbing, but I've never seen like goblin equals Jew.
Right.
I don't know. Have you?
I have not. I think it had to do with the fact that the goblin things had big noses, and other than that,
but they had big ears. They had big noses.
I think so. I don't know.
Okay,
but
I don't. Have we talked? Do you like Harry Potter?
I don't love it. I don't hate it. Like I read the first 4 books when I was a kid when they came out, and then she took her sweet ass time getting to the 5th one. And by the time the 5th one came out, I was in high school into like heavy metal and horror movies. So I was like, Harry Potter. But now I'm sort of like, it's fine. It's whatever. It's all right.
That's how I feel too. I think I read 1 or 2 books. I think a teacher read one to us.
Yeah.
I saw the movies. I like them. They're fine. But I don't. Again, same thing with The Office. My view is there are other books out there too. It's like Harry Potter's kind of the book novel equivalent of The Office. It's like other stuff exists.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is I at this point I don't want to say I feel bad for a billionaire who has reached the pinnacle of success as a writer. As I'm a writer, I would kill for that. Not her. That's all a joke. That's all a joke about executing these people. It's all joking. So I don't want to say I feel bad for her because I think it's like she's gotten nettled enough. I don't know if that's the right word. She's gotten like dragged enough. Yeah. But this was she was so like pandering when someone she was like, I never even said Hermione was white. Like Hermione could have been black. And it's like
Dumbledore's gay.
Here's a passage, like someone like screenshot a passage from Harry Potter where it's like talking about Hermione's white skin. It's like, no, don't do that. Like, it's okay. You made a white girl a wizard, like it's okay, right? You don't have to just change it, like, and that. So it's like when she did shit like that, I'll admit it. There's a little bit of like, I told you so, even though she doesn't know who I am. It's like, I saw this coming. You stepped out of line with the transgender issue. You were I remember she was so like for taking in Syrian refugees and stuff and all this, and people are like, why don't you take them in like your 20 bedroom house and 15 bathroom house? Why don't you take a few of them, and it's like, so she was kind of one of those liberals, like limousine liberals and stuff, and just like saying the right thing until she doesn't, and I was like, oh, they're coming after her now. But now I kind of feel bad. I feel like now they're just nitpicking and they're just finding
Yeah, yeah.
And I do almost feel bad for a billionaire writer.
Right.
That's as much as I'll give her. Almost feel bad.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you, man. Like, because there is that part of me that whenever I see a very woke progressive person, a prominent celebrity, getting ripped apart by their own, there's a part of me that's like, good, like that's like this is a culture that you helped create. But then there's that other part of me. It's like, if I'm going to be against like all this dumb outrage culture, I have to defend people I don't like.
Yeah, but I think both things can be true.
Yeah,
I think both things can be true. I think you can kind of revel in it a little, and then you can also be like, all right, we'll accept you over here. Like we accept her, one of us. Gobble, one of us. like it's honestly what it is. Come join the freaks over here.
Yeah.
We'll take you in. Open arms.
And it's funny, like when you look at her supposedly transphobic remarks, like they're like the most like innocuous things ever. Like she's never used any slurs. Like as far as I can tell, she's always been pretty supportive of trans people.
That's it.
But she's always just been like,
even like she's anti-thing. She just said, to join us. Why don't you?
Hey Rick, I think you should no cats.
We're not doing.
We're cutting the cats out of the podcast. Rick.
Yeah,
this last episode that we see cats.
Yeah, last episode with cats.
Yeah. Okay. Next week. Okay. I know, but she's like, maybe if a man can put on a dress and then claim to be a woman, I don't necessarily feel comfortable going to a ladies' room with somebody like that. Let's, maybe we should rethink this. And it's like, you transphobe, you're negative stereotypes. I'm just like, you
motherfucker.
Yeah. Biological sex exists and people freak out. So it's just,
I get it. I know. It's like, well, let's have a conversation about it. No.
But this is
I was in a screamo band. Did you know that?
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
A one man screamo band.
You were the only member.
The only member.
The band broke up, I assume.
No, we're still here.
Oh, you're still okay. Cool. Yeah. What's your band called?
Me, Myself, and I.
Oh, I think the Farrelly brothers might have a problem with that.
Who? What's that?
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh, that one went over my head.
Mr. Movie Man.
You dick. Mr. Movie Man. All right. So
what are the lessons to take away from this episode?
Well, hold on. What are we voting? Are we voting on beheading J.K. Rowling?
I think we'll give her a suspended sentence. That's what I'm in favor of.
Okay, so you're voting for suspended sentence?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Meaning, like, let's just do it next week. Let's just suspend it for a week. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Mr.
I'm gonna vote.
Man.
I'm gonna vote. No. I'm gonna vote no. Speaking of which, did you know? Just a little historical tidbit here that Louis the
CK
16th. He's the one who got beheaded during the revolution. CK. No, I vote no on beheading Louis. By the way, big Louis fan. Louis, was it who? Louis 16th? Shit, I should know this. French Revolution. Who Marie Antoinette's husband? He, I think, was one vote away from not getting beheaded. Like they voted on it. It wasn't like they just dragged him to the guillotine like an angry mob. Like, no, it was like a somewhat of a procedure.
Damn.
I think he lost by a vote.
Oh shit.
Yeah, could you imagine? I mean, it's not like even today where you need at least in most states, I think all states now, Louisiana didn't used to be this way. Side note, that you do need a unanimous jury to
decapitate
the death penalty. Well, we don't decapitate people anymore. Also, last historical side note, did you know that the last person to get executed in France was actually executed with a guillotine? How fucking metal is that? Yeah, in like the 70s. How crazy! I'm not even kidding. Cool. It was like some Algerian guy who I think raped and murdered a woman, and he got executed via guillotine in the 70s. I mean, Jaws was coming out. Like we had the Easy Rider had already come out, and people were getting executed via guillotine in France. What a world. How amazing. I love this. This world is amazing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So is that? I'm good. If you're good.
I'm good.
On this
I just
episode.
I need to hear some lessons that you learned from this podcast. Like, what did you
So I
learn?
didn't learn shit from this podcast, man.
Okay, well, I need to hear. That's fine. Good answer.
Did you learn that Event Horizon stinks as a movie? Because I hope you
Nah, I
learned
forgot that one.
That's a
That lesson
bad
went
movie.
over my head. No.
All right, I'm not going to rehash this episode.
Okay, yeah, and
Stay
yeah,
reckless.
stay reckless, Ben, and
Stay reckless, Joe.
and then Rick says stay rickless.
Stay reckless, Rick.
Shut up, producer. All right, bye everybody.
Peace.